Hey everyone, and welcome to another video of these recorded at home videos. Because let's explain it again to everyone, Zaran. We're all at home.
Yep.
We should be all at home, and we are still working. And we're trying to bring you your motoring fix as much as we can from our homes as well. So if you've missed the latest video we recorded, which was Zaran, the 4 most memorable reviews we've recorded in the past year, you can watch it on our YouTube channel right now.
Yeah, so these are more, as you can see, candid sessions with Anas and I, where we pretty much talk about all things automotive. And today's topic is something very dear to us because we are going to be discussing the best hot hatch of the past year.
Yeah. Before we tell people what we chose, I want to just talk a little bit more about hot hatches in particular and explain to people what they are. So you see, we all know what hot hatches are, or hatchbacks are. They're cars that have a sort of a smaller station wagon feel to it. And they came along as a more practical choice than regular small sedans. So let's think about, like, if we go back in history, something like a sedan Civic. Then you get a hatchback Civic, which gives you more room in the back. Another example would be the Toyota Yaris, maybe. So you have a sedan Yaris and you have your hatchback Yaris. So it gives you more practicality in the boot in the back because it gives you that extra height when you open the back boot door, basically. Then people started, and this started a long way back, like with the Peugeot GT, the amazing, of course, Volkswagen Golf GTI. Yeah. So where they took these hatchbacks and made sports hatchbacks out of them, and they became some sort of a pocket rocket again, where people buy a cheap car that gives you the thrill of a sports car and all the practicality that comes with a hatchback, of course.
And they started being called hot hatches.
Yes, and people went like crazy with them. If you go online, you will find hot hatches modified to like crazy numbers, like supercar numbers even.
Yes.
One of my favorites, of course, I can mention before we tell people what we chose, is the Honda Civic Type R, which is like on another level of hot hatches. And unfortunately, I think the last time we got a Honda Civic Type R in the UAE was almost a decade ago.
Yeah, I think somewhere around 2007, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yes. You see some of them imported from the US every once a while, like on the roads here in Dubai, but like it's a unicorn, like they say. But let's get back to our discussion today, and I'll give you the opportunity to tell people what the car we chose from our past year of reviews, basically.
So normally you and I, we tend to disagree on quite a few things, in that when you'll pick something and I'll pick something else. But I think this is one of those very rare occasions where we've both picked the exact same car to be the best hot hatch of the past year. For those of you wondering what we've both picked, it is the, drumroll, Renault Megane RS.
Yep. The amazing, actually, hot hatch, the Renault Megane RS. And I'll start with you. Like, you have a special relationship with this car, or connection with this car. Let's start with that story. Tell the people that story.
Okay, so my sort of relationship with the Megane RS started way back when Renault Middle East had invited all the Mikoti jurors, which is the Middle East Car of the Year jurors, to the Dubai Autodrome. They had brought, because the RS was nominated as one of the cars of the year, we had the opportunity to drive it on track and to keep it exciting.
And I was there too.
Yes, you were there too. And to keep it exciting and competitive, what they did is each juror got a lap or 2 laps around the Dubai Autodrome. with this device that was kept in the door and kind of monitored how quickly you
Yeah,
completed
it's
a lap.
basically called the tracker.
Yeah.
It tracks your lap times.
Correct. So obviously there were many other jurors there, but as Anas mentioned, he was there. And the main competition for me was just making sure I'm faster than Anas. I didn't care if I wasn't faster than anyone else. I just needed to be faster than Anas. And so as you can imagine, the pressure was on, and I did give it everything I had. I mean, that was like late braking into the corners. That car was pushed to the limit. I mean,
Yes,
it was like
yes.
flat out on the straight, hard braking, very late braking into the corners. And it paid off because not only did I come out faster than Anas, but I was the fastest driver on track that day. So
Yes.
from the very beginning,
You won it all that day.
I won it all, yes. I was very, very impressed with the Megane RS, and we'll discuss, it's impressed us in so many ways. I mean, of course, both Anas and I drove it on track, but also we had the opportunity to get it in for a proper review.
Yes.
And we had it for around a week, if I'm not mistaken, and you can watch that. We'll put a link up to the review video later on. And so we've pretty much tested the car on track as well as living with it for a week. So driving it on our daily routes to work, home, things like that. And it definitely impressed us in every way possible. And that's what we'll be discussing during this video.
Yeah, because sometimes like on the track, some cars could be magnificent, right?
Yes.
Because they are built to be magnificent on track. And that car was amazing on track and so much fun to drive on the track. And we'll go into details of why is it like this later on in the video. But it's one thing to build an amazing car on track and make sure it's a car for every day. That is
Correct.
the hardest part. Because this is just another hatchback Megane that was taken from the RS team, which is Renault Sport. And to tell you in short what Renault Sport is, Renault Sport is the division that is responsible for building all sports cars or race cars for Renault, even their Formula One race cars, basically. So this division, of course, is not your typical everyday car division, but they've been producing amazing RS cars or Meganes, Clios, hot hatches for Renault for a long period of time. You can go back and, of course, Google them and know more about that. So this car is built from the ground up by Renault Sport to give you the highest performance you can get out of this amazing car. So, like, yeah, he beat me. That was bad, but at least, like, we found a car that is fun to drive, amazing to drive every day. And let's go more into the details of why was it that amazing to drive on a daily basis. So I'll give you the screen and you can tell people why.
So, like I said, we've had the opportunity to drive this car both on track and in the city. And there's many, many reasons why me particularly, I picked it as the best hot hatch of the past year. The very first thing that comes to mind is because, in my personal opinion, I think the Megane RS is a car for thinkers. And what I mean by a car for thinkers is it's a car
philosophers.
No, not fit. Yes, okay, that's different.
I know.
It's for people who want to think outside the box.
Oh, yeah.
What I mean by that is it's very easy to say, I want a hatchback that's quick and fun. I'll go buy a Golf GTI. It's just what people do because, let's be honest, there aren't many options in the market here. In other markets,
especially here,
options. But here, I don't think there's more than about 5 or 6.
And I can add, those people aren't doing a mistake. The Golf GTI is an amazing, reliable, great car.
Yeah, but
it gives you a lot.
It's kind of, yes, it's a great car, no denying it. But it's also just the thing to do. It's like if you say, I don't know, back in the days, when like people put blinders on and just went into a showroom and bought one car. Like, remember the days when people went into the Toyota showroom and just bought a Camry if they wanted a sedan, or if they wanted an
Yeah.
SUV, it was the Land Cruiser, and they didn't look at any other options. And
Yeah.
the hot hatch segment is, if you ask me, it's still there. When people want a fast hatchback, they just look at the GTI. And that's why I say
Yeah.
the RS is for people who think outside the box. It's for people who have actually studied the market, seen the options, and then made a very sensible choice.
Yes. Yes. And that comes down to not just the price, but what the Megane RS is offering you compared to what you have now in the market. So let's keep the comparison between it and your safe choice, the Golf. So in the Golf versions that we have in the market, we have the Golf GTI,
Yeah.
and then we have the more powerful Golf R.
Correct.
And to go, let's talk only about the fully loaded, because the Megane RS comes here with almost just two different variants, and they're not that different. Like
Correct.
they are two fully loaded cars to begin with. I think the only difference are the seats that are, they're either Recaro seats or your regular seats, and added the sunroof. That's the
Okay.
only difference between the two versions of the Megane RS. Other than that, they're exactly the same. They're fully loaded. You get like all the tech, all the power, all the design elements in the body, and the changes in the chassis and the changes in like the mechanical parts are all the same. So compared to your Golf GTI, you are paying, and tell people exactly what the difference is.
So I would not compare this to the Golf GTI. For me, the RS, the performance-wise, is a lot closer to the Golf R.
Exactly.
But price-wise, it's closer to the Golf GTI. In fact, if we talk about price, the difference in the Golf R and the Megane RS is 60,000 dirhams.
Yes, yes.
That's a lot.
Just to mention the price to people, the price of a Megane RS now in the showroom, I think back when I last checked it, it was around 137,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're going to be paying almost 60,000 dirhams more
Close
to get
to
the same
200.
power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost 60,000 dirhams more to get almost the same power from a Golf, which is going to be the Golf R. Actually, you're going to be paying more than 130,000 dirhams if you want to buy a fully loaded Golf GTI.
Exactly.
I'll add to that about the whole thinking and out of the box thing that actually the Megane RS, especially here in the UAE, will stand out so much more on the road than even a Golf R. Because of mainly, I think, two reasons. One, that there's not a lot of Meganes on the road. And if you can buy a regular Megane here, it's going to be a sedan. We don't get the hatchback regular Megane here. So people will only see the Megane hatchback in either a GT form or a RS form.
Yeah.
And to add to that, like if we take the Golf again as the example and the comparison, I think if you see a Golf GTI or a Golf R on the road, a lot of people won't actually know that this is a special version of a Golf, unless you're really
apart from the enthusiasts, I don't think people can tell. Yeah,
because they look exactly the same, and that's why maybe a lot of people actually, when they buy the Golf, they start adding a lot of body kits to it and whatever, and make it stand out more than a regular Golf. But with the Megane RS, Renault Sport has already done a lot of that work for you. Like,
correct.
I can mention out of my head, like it's a wider car because you have like wider wheel arches. It has these air intakes and whatever on the body. You have the central exhaust in the back, which is huge, and you won't mistake it. You have a bigger spoiler. So the car already looks different, and it comes in an amazing exclusive color, which is that yellow, orangey kind of color. Yeah, that just makes it stick out on the road and everyone will be looking at you. And the Megane to begin with is a beautiful car. So
It
like,
really is. It is. And
yeah,
the
yeah, the
RS is
RS, yeah, the RS is an amazingly beautiful car, man. So
very
like, let's get past the numbers
nice.
and like the price and go more into like the drive. What did you most like about driving the Megane RS?
So obviously there's the performance side, how much fun you can have behind the steering wheel, the amount of feedback you get from the steering wheel, the sounds that a thing makes, from that, from the exhaust system. It's
Yeah, and
brilliant.
if you guys want to know what kind of sounds you get from a Megane RS, we've already it was so amazing that it made our list of like the best sounds we love during the past year, and the video is up on our channel as well. You'll see a link to it in a while or in the description below. But yeah, like the sounds, the feedback, I can add to that, like this car, because like, let's not talk about power and engine, whatever, like on the track.
Yeah,
So usually hot hatches, most of them are front wheel drive.
correct.
And when you push a front wheel drive car on the track, you start expecting on a corner, you expect understeer.
Mm,
Because this car is fitted with all wheel steering, on the
yes,
corner, it starts sliding from the back as if it's a real wheel drive, which at the first like moments of driving it, you feel awkward. But then once you understand that it's gonna do that, it's so much fun because it starts sliding on every corner, and it gives you an amazing experience, not just on the track, even on regular corners on the road as well.
correct. You basically have a lot more control. That's all it comes down to. And I think that's
Yeah.
probably why that system's called for control, because it gives you more control.
Yes, more control, more control. Yeah, yeah,
But okay, like you said, let's keep the performance aside and how quick and fast and fun it is. But something else that I remember very well from the Megane RS was, every car we drive nowadays has drive modes in it, but most of the time nothing really changes. I mean,
yeah,
it'll hold on to gears a little bit longer, make a little more noise, but that's about all that changes. But in the RS, it's one of those few cars where the whole car, it just kind of becomes a completely different car when you press that button. I mean, you
yes,
keep it in
yes.
race mode and you've got everything. You don't even have to be going fast in race mode. For instance, it's just, you have to use those big pedal shifters and you have to shift every gear, and you could be doing 60 and it'll go pum, 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 pum from the exhaust. And
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
as soon as you put it into normal mode, it just changes. The ride becomes soft, the steering becomes light, it
yeah,
goes back into like automatic mode, so you don't have to shift the gears, and it
yeah, yeah,
changes completely. And the benefit of that is that, sure, when you want to have fun, you can just throw it into race mode and go ahead. But you can also use this car for literally everything. I mean, it's not going to be harsh or difficult to use on a daily basis. If you just
yeah,
want to cruise, take it easy, just keep it in normal mode and drive, and you're not even going to realize that this car has so much hidden power and potential underneath until you put it into sport or race mode. And
yeah, yeah.
that's another thing that really impressed me with the car, that how everyday friendly it is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And again, it's part of being a hatchback that gives you that practicality. So it fits people in the back, adults in the back, it fits a lot of stuff in the boot.
correct.
And because of it changes so much, you can easily use it with your family and without like bothering them with any sounds or harshness or like speed or jerkiness or whatever. And then when you want to have fun, you just go into race mode. And I love that you mentioned the pedal shifters. Golf, Volkswagen, please, when you make pedal shifters, just look at the Megane RS and make them the same way.
Yeah.
Because those pedal shifters make the ones that are in the Golf a joke. Those little
Ones in the
plastic
Golf are
things
like
that,
the small ones
yeah, yeah,
stuck behind the
they're
steering
just,
wheel.
yeah, yeah, you don't even see them. There's just little plastic pieces stuck on the steering wheel in the back. Here you get proper like metal or like magnesium pedal shifters that you can see all the time. It adds to the whole experience. It makes it easier for you to change them while turning.
Yeah, and these, I
And of
think, if
course,
I
I don't.
remember correctly, were mounted on the column. It wasn't on the
Yeah,
steering wheel. They were on the
maybe
column.
I think they were on the column. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And one of the things like that adds to the experience, like the Recaro bucket seats,
Mm-hmm.
the amazing Alcantara you get in the cabin.
Correct.
It adds to the special like feeling you get once you just step into the car as well. It's not just looks great from the outside, it also feels special from the inside.
It does, but now here's a very interesting thing you brought up when you say special feeling. Like, it's not, it's a very nice place to be, but let's be honest, quality inside is not at the same level as it
No,
is in
no,
a Golf R.
no, of course,
So,
of
you
course.
know, like quality of materials,
They listen,
overall
they
fit
had
and
to
finish
they had to cut out some stuff for that price.
for that 60,000 dirham saving.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, I'm sure like the quality of plastics used in a Golf, it's like Golf quality. It's like higher than your regular French car or whatever.
correct.
But at least with the Megane, you still get everything. So you get like a
Do.
really big screen.
Yeah.
It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth, navigation,
You're
and you
forgetting
get
something.
an RS monitor.
You get an RS monitor. You're forgetting something else it has.
What?
Do you remember? It could park itself. It had that self-parking thing for parallel and perpendicular parking.
I maybe I forgot because I was too excited driving it all the time that I didn't want to make it do anything for me. Yeah, I think that speed limiter, cruise control,
Yeah,
everything. Although some of the buttons are in the wrong place, which
that's
is
okay.
typical with many French cars, but anyways, like these are ergonomic things that you can get used to after driving any car for a
Correct.
period of time. Like that weird stock they have in behind the wheel, the
For
steering
the
wheel, where you can control all the audio controls are there. I think I counted more than 7 different buttons in one stock to control everything. And yeah, it's hard to get used to in like a couple of days, but I'm sure once you drive the car for a month or so, you're gonna like get used to like using that easily.
yeah.
And it's not a what do they call it, a deal breaker for me at all.
No, 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 not at all. Not at all. Because you're not buying this car for that anyway, right? You're buying this car because you want performance. You want something fun. You
You
want
want fun,
fun
yeah,
and you
fun.
want cheap fun. Let's put it that way. You don't want to spend 200,000 for fun. So this is what you get.
Yes, exactly. And again, like guys, this is just like an opinion about the Renault RS, the Megane RS. If you want to watch our whole reviews in both Arabic and English, they're on YallaMotor's YouTube channel. The links will be there on the screen right now, so you can watch the whole review and like know why this car is a really special hot hatch here, specifically in our market.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for today.
That's all for now. Stay tuned. We should be bringing you another video very, very soon. And if you'd like us to discuss any specific cars that we've driven over the past year, any specific questions you may have, feel free to put them down below in the comments and we shall get back to you very soon.
And as usual, and just like us, stay home and stay safe.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye bye, guys. Bye.